boyfriend told me to shut up at a party, so I never spoke to him again, and it destroyed his entire life. Felipe had been making comments about my talking for months, saying I could bore anyone to death, or asking if I ever ran out of things to say. I thought he was joking, but at his best friend's party, while I was telling someone about my promotion, he exploded. Jesus Christ, would you just shut the fuck up for once in your life? Nobody cares about your boring job, and you sound like a desperate attention whore. The entire party went silent. My face burned while Felipe laughed and said, "This is what I deal with every day." I didn't say another word the rest of the night, or the next day, or the day after that. At first, Felipe loved it. "We should do this more often," he said after a silent Sunday breakfast. But Monday morning, he missed his huge presentation because I didn't remind him to set his alarm like I always did. He woke up 2 hours late while his boss called saying not to bother coming in. "This is your fault," he screamed at my silent face. Then he completely forgot his mom's 60th birthday dinner because I usually handled all family stuff. She left 6 sobbing voicemails. By the time he checked his phone, she thought he hated her. His coworker stopped by Tuesday when he wasn't home. I stood there mute while she asked if I was okay, if Felipe hurt me, if I could blink twice for yes. She went back to work convinced Felipe was abusing me. Suddenly, he was getting called into meetings about domestic violence resources and mandatory counseling. Friday's company gala was revealing. Every executive who tried talking to me got complete silence, while Felipe scrambled to explain I was just shy. The CEO's wife cornered me in the bathroom trying to slip me women's shelter pamphlets. HR put him on immediate leave. Saturday, his friends came over for game night. "What the hell did you do to her?" his best friend asked after I served snacks without saying a word. When Felipe admitted what he'd said at the party, they all left immediately. By Sunday, Felipe was falling apart. His sister was threatening to call police, his mom had disowned him, and his job was investigating him for abuse. "Just say something," he screamed, following me to the garage. "One word and this nightmare ends." The garage had old paint cans on rickety metal shelves from the 1980s. Felipe positioned himself right under the worst shelf while ranting about how I was destroying his life. "You know what? I don't want your voice back," he yelled, gesturing wildly. "You were getting fat anyway. Now at least you're fat and quiet." The shelf started shaking from his movements. I watched the rusty bracket bend under 200 pounds of chemicals. It made a groaning sound and started tipping forward. I jumped back as 20 paint cans crashed down where Felipe stood. A heavy can caught his shoulder, sending him sprawling. More cans bounced off his back while he screamed. Blood ran down his face from where a sharp edge caught his temple. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. When the dispatcher answered, I didn't say anything. I just held the line open while Felipe moaned in the background. "I did this on purpose," Felipe screamed. "She knew the shelf would fall. She tried to kill me." The paramedics arrived 8 minutes later. At the hospital, I finally broke my silence with basic facts. Old shelf. Felipe was yelling. It fell. When the officer asked about my bruised arm from where Felipe had grabbed me, I showed him. He took photos and filed a domestic violence report. I left the hospital and never went back to that apartment. I stayed with a friend, got a lawyer, and filed for a protective order using all Felipe's threatening texts as evidence. The property manager confirmed the shelving was installed without permits in the 1990s, a major code violation that made me legally blameless. HR's investigation revealed Felipe had been having angry outbursts at work all week. They required anger management counseling and demoted him to data entry. At the protective order hearing, Felipe's lawyer claimed I was making everything up. But when the judge asked Felipe about grabbing my arm, he mumbled, "Maybe I did, but only because she was ignoring me." The judge extended the order for 6 months. His family finally saw who he really was. His sister stopped defending him. His friends had already abandoned him after learning the truth. 3 months later, I was living in my own studio apartment, going to therapy, and learning to use my voice in healthy ways again. Felipe finished his court-ordered counseling and was already dating someone new. I felt sorry for her, but knew warning her would just drag me back into his mess. The best revenge wasn't my silence. It was using my voice to tell the truth and protect myself. Sometimes when someone shows you who they really are, the kindest thing you can do is believe them and walk away.